I guess fear is a spiritual experience. I guess walking through it, with it, beside it, leaning into it is really part of getting through it.
When you enter into a psychoanalysis, your analyst is never going to be interested in you becoming a better person. That's just off the table. You're fine as you are. The question is, who are you? Much more interesting question.
If you imagined making a little fist at 3, 4, 5 years old and holding it for 3 seconds or 3 minutes or 3 days or 3 years or 30 years, by the time you've held that little fist for 30 years, there's going to be a lot of tension. And so the gentleness with which we approach releasing, that's really important.
I hear my name repeating like a prayer.
Sugar biochemically reduces our body's ability to produce the hormones and the chemicals that we need to deal with our stress. So it becomes like this kind of vicious cycle.
The left brain wants to think in a box and define how it wants to be and what it's going to be, and then it judges itself based on right and wrong and good and bad. And that was not my criteria for who and how I wanted to be in the world.
Say like I'm at school and I'm having like a math test and I don't know the answer to something, it'll start with like my stomach kind of feeling funny, and then the only thing I'm worried about is that I can't do it, and I know that deep down that that's not true, but I can't convince myself.
Anxiety it doesn't define us. We always want to understand who are we beyond the anxious thought or the anxious feeling.
I believe in putting layers of work and care and achieving artistic mastery, but I don't think that just because it's not perfect is a reason to not put it out in the world.
For me, it wasn't until I finally let go of my intense struggle to prove myself and to be perfect. That's when I was finally successful.
It just became very clear to me that my work wasn't just to be the poet, but to actually be the person who says, man, I've been hurt in my life. Have you?
This is a call to humanity to engage our common suffering and to recognize that we are all soft bodies in a hard world, and we stand in collective vulnerability to loss and change.
I also want to offer a big dose of hope, because people who have these early experiences of loss also have great gifts of empathy, resilience, insight. And these are all things that we really need right now.
The journey's propelled by the questions you ask. So if I cannot sit here and say, why me? Why this happen? Oh my God, because it doesn't lead anywhere. So I ask, what now? What do I do with this?
The people who were kind of on the fence about whether or not there even was racism are just opening their eyes now and starting to see, oh my gosh, there is systematic racism and I was playing into it. Let me back up a little bit, get some perspective, and then join the movement.
Sometimes in the beginning of grief, we feel like, how dare I continue? We have this survivor's guilt. How dare I ever experience joy again or see beauty in the sky again? And yet, writing new chapters of life is what they would wish for us. They would wish us the ability to rise up out of the ashes of our sorrow and find love again or find light again. It's a way of taking them with us.
Change always comes with the shedding and the grieving and the rebirth. Healing rarely is a retreat back to the way things were.
Is there anything that you would like us to learn from you and your experiences, or what you're experiencing now?
I think to really relish the moments we are all living separate and valuable lives, and recording them in our own way. I think over time, the moments make a statement.
And are you aware of what the statement might be for you?
I don't know, but I think it might be connected to truth.
To truth.
And I think I did find it.
We have been forced into a global Sabbath, and that's both painful and wondrous. We need to deepen our roots and widen our trunk so we can endure the storm of our time.
What I believe ultimately about this time period is that we are in that liquefied stage, but that human consciousness, global human consciousness, will emerge from this in a completely winged, transformed way.
That very first time that I was with the juvenile hall girls, I said, I want to hug every single girl in this room. This is what we all need. It's as simple as that.
I'm going for the gold ring, the brass ring, whatever it is, of having more of my days be peace born of fulfillment.
I think a lot of people, they put their lives on hold because they're waiting for this thing that they thought that they should have to arrive, and they don't want to do anything else. You're staring so fiercely at what it is you think you're supposed to be getting and what you want, is that you lose sight of all the other possible things that might become your life.
I say this regularly to my singers. I really do believe the paradigm is shifting. There is nothing that will replace live theater, and this is where I really do believe that artists define the times, always. And when we are able to come together again, we will be so needed on all levels of consciousness.
Right now, maybe thanks to improv and the fact that I'm comfortable saying something stupid, if in retrospect I think it is, gives me the permission to just be a lot more comfortable, be in the moment and really have a conversation with you rather than trying to say what is the right thing to say at this point.
What dawned on me is that it's not that any one of us doesn't want to feel the whole range of what we feel. I actually believe we do, because it's the essence of our vitality and aliveness and charisma.
First and foremost, dogs teach us about unconditional love. They love us no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. But I think what they can really teach us is the value of being fully present.
Without gratitude, there's no way we can face challenges. The human brain is made to hang on to the negatives, and without gratitude, we can't see perspective. We cannot. Mm-hmm. So we would just get bogged down by the negatives. Empathy, collaboration, helpfulness, essential skills for today's workplaces and today's world.
The way that feminism was spread across the country was by consciousness-raising groups where women got together in informal small groups, and the key was to always speak first person. I this, I that, I feel, I think. It's very contagious when you can sit in a room with other women and there are no men, they're not allowed, and just tell your truth.